Megan Lee, and my lighting sucks. This is Manga Mondays on the Noob Reviews, and we are going over Demon Slayer. And I have a new camera, and it's struggling too. I'm just a struggle bus today, okay? It's a whole thing. Scary. Whatever. We are going through I just said that. Demon Slayer. Wow, I feel so special. Alrighty, we got Tanjiro. He's taking his sister Nezuko? I'm probably saying it wrong. Nezuko? I need somebody to record themselves saying these names so that I can practice and then say them properly. That would be great. If anybody wants to get on that, feel free. Okay, otherwise I'm just going to slaughter their names every time because I'm a horrible person. So Tanjiro is taking his sister to meet this stranger at the bottom of a mountain. And to get her there, he needs to transport her because, first of all, he doesn't need people seeing her, freaking out. Second of all, she cannot be in sunlight, or so he's been told. So he gets this basket, and Tanjiro's been through a lot, right? We know this. He's kind of emotional. He hasn't really had time to process and deal with his trauma. And he's just getting a simple basket. He kind of freaks out because these people just want to give him the basket. It has a hole in it. It's broken. They're all just like, take it. We don't want it. We don't need it. You want it? Take it. It's free. And he gets really upset. And I mean, sometimes accepting charity can be hard. But he forcefully gives them his money, just smacks it into their hand because he does not want to accept charity at this point. So he buys the basket fair and square, brings it back to the cave where his sister is, and she doesn't fit. She stuffs herself in like head first. It's just she doesn't fit. That's just kind of funny. And then we learn another interesting fact about demons. I learned another interesting fact. They can shrink or grow themselves as needed. So that's what Nezuko does. She just shrinks herself so she can fit in the basket. So she's just little tiny. And off they go. Not only does he put her in a basket, but he also just like wraps it in a cloth. Actually, I noticed. So literally no sunlight can get in. And maybe, I don't know, it's to muffle sound. I'm not sure. So they go through the forest. They make it to this way station, which is basically like a little cabin for travelers to stay in. Which we have those in Canada. Not necessarily in the most popular, like the really easy to get to hikes. They're super popular. There's not going to be many way stations, as you could call it. Mostly because, like, if it's easy to get to, you're going to get all kinds of people there, right? And people don't really pick up after themselves. People are kind of rude. But if it is a hike or some place out in the boonies, way off in the wilderness that's more difficult to get to, the people that are going to take the time and energy and effort to get there are going to take care of the area that they are in and that they go through. So you will find kind of way stations or shelter on a more difficult hike deeper in the wilderness as you go. At times, not everywhere. But there was one I hiked up a mountain a couple times, this one specific mountain in Canada, and there is a little hut on top, and they had to take it up piece by piece and then also helicopter it up and put it together on top of the mountain. And then they also had to like use very thick wires to like peg it down into the rock so that it would not fly off in the wind. Interesting. If you're ever in British Columbia, go climb Lackett Mountain. You will see the hut. Never stayed there overnight, but like you could if you had to. Anyway, so they're just going to stay the night at this little hut, and that is where they meet somebody. Okay, so that's kind of a mess. Also, Nobody wants to stay there now. This demon, upon meeting them, first smells Nezuko. Nezuko? Somebody please tell me how to say her name. How to say their names. Please tell me how to say their names, okay? And he's all, get off my feeding ground. This is my spot. Then he smells Tanjiro and is like, oh, humans, and attacks. And Tanjiro is really no match for this demon. He's really, really not. This demon is so creepy. He's so creepy. Look at that face. Ooh. He is basically, he's gonna beat him. Also, creepy, find out, they can heal themselves super fast. So, Tanjiro manages to slit its throat, and anybody would die from that, but demons don't, because they have really fast healing abilities, apparently. So, he heals himself, keeps fighting. Tanjiro is basically done for, except Nezuko steps in, saves the day. We think he's dead, because what does she do? Literally just whack off his head. Just whacks his head off. And it just bounces out the door and off this tree. That's kind of comical in a weird way. And then it's the head and body. Unfortunately, that is not the way to kill demons. The head is still talking and the body is still fighting. There's so many parallels to me between, I mean, probably a lot of people have seen this, between, and the demons, what they call demons in here, are very much like this mix between vampires and zombies. So, like, you cut off a zombie's head and it doesn't die. And vampires cannot be in the light. So, yeah. So this head is still talking, which is super creepy. The body's attacking them. This just headless body going after them. Come on, camera. Get it together. There you go. Ugh. And he pins the head. Oh, also, creepy. Other fact about demons is they can grow more body parts. So this thing grows more arms out of its freaking ears. And then it starts to fight. So now we have a fighting. We have a body fighting and a head fighting. And he pins the head to a tree, and then they throw the body off a cliff. And we see again that Nezuko has, her human itself is still there, because her brother starts to fall off the cliff, and she catches him before he falls. So her human traits, her human self is still in there. She's still human inside. I tried to fix my lighting, but fail. So let's just continue. Okay. So Nezuko is showing humanistic traits still, caring for her brother's life. And they get back to this head pinned to a tree. And it's alive, right? I kind of would have thought, like, maybe he would grow more body parts, but maybe this is all that he can really do. He can't grow any little legs out of his neck, I guess. That's all he has the ability to do. Grow some little arms. I don't know. Maybe other demons have more capabilities. I'm not sure. But he pulls out his dagger, and I'm assuming he's just going to stab it in the head, because I'm like, okay, maybe that's how you kill demons, like you do a zombie, like through the brain. And who shows up? But his name is Sekonji. Somebody please tell me how to say his name. It's bad. And tells Tanjiro that that's not going to work. You got to crush its skull in. And this is where we learn that Tanjiro he cannot even kill this demon. He has a lot of sympathy for demons. I don't know if it's because his sister is now a demon, so he has more sympathy for demons. And, or is it just who Tanjiro just naturally is as a person? Either way, this master demon slayer, comes to the conclusion that Tanjiro is useless. And he's not super impressed by him. And as they're both contemplating their thoughts, the sun comes out, and very much like vampires die, demons can also not last in the sunlight, and he just gets cooked and fried and disintegrates. That's it. No more demon. Just the tiny rays of morning sun. And he's gone. So, after that, Sakonji, whatever. Ugh, please help me. Somebody help. Has this very serious discussion right off the bat with Tanjiro, which, we all know he's been through the trauma. He's in survival mode. He hasn't had time to really, process his thoughts and come up with plan A and plan B and what am I going to do with this and that, and the other thing happens, right? So, but this Master Demon Slayer poses a question to him. What will you do when your sister eats someone? What are you going to do about it? And Tanjiro's just that's is not, just this thought has not occurred to him. He hasn't got that far, right? And, well, the thing to do is kill your sister and then yourself. That's it. Also, Tanjiro doesn't come up with any answer very quickly at all, and he gets slapped for it. This is so harsh. I mean, it's harsh, but at the same time, he doesn't have the time to process, and he cannot take the time to process because he just needs, his sister doesn't have time, he doesn't have time, he needs to solve this. Poor guy. So, it is his sacred duty to make sure his sister never takes a life, because if his sister takes a life, both he and his sister must die. It's pretty heavy stuff. Alrighty, so after this very serious talk with Tanjiro, off they go. He, I cannot say his name. Sakonji. Please forgive me. Sakonji says, come with me. Let's go. I'm going to test you. And so off they go. He walks really fast and very silently. And Tanjiro finds it very difficult to keep up. They go up the mountain. They go down the mountain. And then he says, hey, you need to go back up and get back down before sunrise. Have fun. See you later. So poor Tanjiro, off he goes, leaves his sister, goes up the mountain, and falls into 6 or 7 different traps. So many traps. Before he comes to the conclusion that what he needs to do, a lot of traps. Very painful traps, actually. Some of these look incredibly painful. Very frustrated. He comes to the conclusion, okay, I need to use my amazing sense of smell. Look at this one, that hurts. Ow. I need to use my amazing sense of smell to get myself out of these, to evade these traps. Basically, whoever set their traps up, their scent is on the traps. So, there we go. Problem solved. He gets down that mountainside heck of a lot quicker. And, but before he walks in, we're shown this really sweet moment between Sakonji and Nezuko, and Nezuko is sleeping. She's fallen asleep on the floor. And he just shows her, he's a demon slayer. And he shows this kindness to a demon. He covers her up. So it's this interesting little moment that we see. I'm very curious to see just the character progression and the relationship between those two. Or, will there be any sort of a relationship? Is that caring that he has for her, or has shown right here, is that just going to be kept secret? I don't know. He does, but to show that kindness, he does believe, that shows that he does believe that there is good in her then. Right? He believes in her, he believes in Tanjiro. Even though he has every reason to not believe them, to not help them. And Tanjiro comes in, and he's a complete disaster, but he is accepted as a student. And he will be trained as a demon slayer. I'm very excited to see what comes up next. Because it looks like he meets a girl, and we get journal entries of all his training. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fun. And also there's a whole bunch of names, like we are shown some of the names that we're going to call this. Mysterious Story of the Demon Slayer. Sword of the Demon Slayer. Evil Demon Slayer. Tale of the Demon Killer. The Fantastic Strange Tale of the Demon Slayer. Demon Hunting God of Fire. Or Charred God of Fire. I like that they went with Demon Slayer. Simple, to the point. There it is. I look like a vampire. I just realized I did not tell you where you could find me. I'm having so much struggles technologically, it's ridiculous. But you can find me. Probably not going to do anything Wednesday. Because Thursday I'm going to be very busy. It's like Thursday, Friday, back-to-back stuff. So Thursday I'm going to be on Pop's channel. Pops and I are going to talk comic books, catch up, kind of just be chill. And then right after that, I'm jumping onto Weebs and Waifus live stream. And then Friday is Blast from the Past movie reviews with Steven from Free Speech Gaming. And we are going to just be chatting. We're going to be talking about childhood adventures and telling stories. Yeah, just talking about how did we not die as kids from doing all the stupid kid stuff that we do. So feel free to come along, share your childhood adventure stories in the chat, and hopefully I will see you one of those places. I will drop links in my community section so you can find me.